There comes a time in life when you must walk your own path, when the noise of the world fades and you stand face to face with your own strength. This is the moment when you realize that you don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need approval to believe in yourself, and you certainly don't need anyone else to define your worth. You were born with all the power, all the wisdom, and all the love you will ever need. It is within you now, waiting to be unleashed. And sometimes the best thing you can do is go forward, alone. Trusting yourself is the foundation of every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every moment of personal growth. It is the inner knowing that no matter what happens, you will find your way. It is believing in your ability to make decisions, navigate challenges, and create the life you desire. But for many people, self-trust is not something that comes naturally. Years of doubt, fear, and external influences can weaken our belief in ourselves. However, the good news is that trust can be rebuilt, strengthened, and nurtured just like a muscle. Think about a time when you second-guessed yourself. Maybe it was a choice about your career, a relationship, or a personal goal. You felt something deep inside urging you to move in a certain direction, yet hesitation crept in. Perhaps you sought validation from others, hoping they would confirm what you already knew in your heart. And when they didn't, you felt lost, unsure, disconnected from your own wisdom. This is what happens when we put more faith in the opinions of others than in our own inner voice. The truth is, you have always known what is right for you. There is a part of you that sees the bigger picture, a part of you that whispers guidance in moments of uncertainty. But over time, societal expectations, past failures, and the fear of making mistakes can drown out that voice. You may start to believe that other people know better than you do, that their approval is a necessary ingredient for your success, but it's not. The greatest breakthroughs happen when you decide to trust yourself completely. Learning to trust yourself means honoring your intuition even when it doesn't make sense to others. It means listening to your feelings and knowing that they are guiding you toward what is best. When you stop doubting your instincts and start acting on them, you begin to move through life with a new sense of clarity. Decisions become easier because you are no longer looking outside yourself for answers. You recognize that the wisdom you seek has been within you all along. Self-trust also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. Every wrong turn, every setback, every choice you wish you could change, these experiences were not failures. They were lessons. They were opportunities for growth. Often people lose trust in themselves because they feel they have made too many mistakes. But if you are willing to see those experiences as stepping stones instead of roadblocks, you will understand that they have only made you wiser. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never made mistakes. They are the ones who kept going, who learned from their experiences, and who refused to let doubt control them. Trusting yourself also means taking responsibility for your own happiness. No one else can give you the confidence you need. No one else can make you feel worthy. That power lies within you. When you trust yourself, you stop waiting for external validation. You no longer rely on others to tell you that you are good enough. Instead, you wake up each day with the unshakable belief that you are capable, strong, and deserving of the life you dream of. One of the most important ways to strengthen self-trust is to follow through on your commitments to yourself. If you tell yourself you are going to do something, do it. If you set a goal, take action. Even small promises, like waking up at a certain time, exercising, or dedicating time to personal growth, can build your confidence. The more you show up for yourself, the more you will believe in your own ability to succeed. Another powerful way to deepen your self-trust is to spend time in silence. The world is full of distractions, opinions, social media, endless noise pulling you in different directions. But when you take time to sit quietly with yourself, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You reconnect with your desires, your dreams, and your purpose In those quiet moments, you realize that you do not need anyone else to tell you what is right for you. You already know. Fear will always try to convince you that you are not ready, that you are not capable, that you need someone else to show you the way. But fear is a liar. You are more prepared than you think. You have everything within you to take the next step. And even if you don't know exactly how things will unfold, trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. At the end of the day, trusting yourself is about choosing to believe in your own power. It is about standing tall in your decisions, even when others question them. It is about knowing that you are the creator of your own life. When you trust yourself, you step into a new level of confidence. You no longer shrink to fit into someone else's expectations. You no longer fear the unknown. You embrace it. You move forward with certainty, knowing that no matter what happens, you will find your way. Waiting is a silent thief of time, a hidden barrier that keeps you from living fully and stepping into your power. So many people spend their lives waiting for someone to love them, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for permission to chase their dreams. They tell themselves, I'll be happy when I find the right partner, or I'll start my journey when the timing is right. But life does not wait. It moves forward with or without your participation. And if you continue waiting for others to give you what you already have within, you will miss the beauty of your own growth. At some point, you have to ask yourself, how much longer am I willing to wait? How many more days, months, or even years will I put my happiness on hold? The truth is, no one is coming to rescue you. No one is coming to give you the confidence, the love, or the motivation you seek. You must give these things to yourself. You must decide that you are worthy now, that you are capable now, that you are ready now. It is easy to fall into the habit of waiting, especially when fear is whispering in your ear. Fear tells you that you are not ready, that you need more support, more guidance, more certainty. But fear is only an illusion. The perfect moment you are waiting for will never come, because perfection does not exist. The only thing that exists is this moment, right here, right now. And in this moment, you have a choice. You can continue to wait, or you can take action. You can continue to hope that someone else will make the first move, or you can move forward on your own. Think about how many times you have put your dreams on hold because you were waiting for the right people to support you. Maybe you wanted encouragement from family or validation from friends. Maybe you told yourself you couldn't start until someone gave you permission. But the greatest freedom you will ever experience is realizing that you do not need anyone's approval to create the life you desire. The only approval that matters is your own. When you stop waiting, you take your power back. You start making decisions for yourself. Instead of hoping someone else will make them for you, you stop relying on others to believe in you because you have learned to believe in yourself. This is when transformation happens. This is when you finally see how much potential has been inside you all along. Waiting for others also applies to love and relationships. How many people hold on to the hope that someone will change? How many stay in situations where they are undervalued, hoping that one day they will be treated differently? But you must understand, if someone truly wants to be in your life, they will show you through their actions. And if they do not, then it is not your job to wait for them to realize your worth. Your job is to recognize your own worth and act accordingly. The same applies to friendships, careers, and personal growth. If you are waiting for someone to support your dreams, you might be waiting forever. If you are waiting for life to align perfectly before you take a leap, you will never move. Nothing changes until you do. Nothing happens until you decide that you are ready. It is time to stop waiting and start living. If you have a dream, start working toward it today. If you want to heal, begin that journey now. If you are hoping for love, give it to yourself first. Every moment you spend waiting for someone else to give you what you need is a moment you could have spent building the life you want. You were not meant to stand still hoping for external validation. You were meant to rise, to take action, to trust that everything you need is already within you. The world is not waiting for you to be perfect. It is simply waiting for you to begin. Let go of waiting for others and watch how your life transforms the moment you take full ownership of your path. Solitude is not loneliness. It is a sacred space where you discover who you truly are. In a world that constantly demands your attention, being alone can feel uncomfortable at first. Many people avoid solitude because they associate it with emptiness, but in reality, solitude is where inner strength is built. It is in these quiet moments that you learn to trust yourself, to listen to your own voice, and to cultivate the resilience needed to navigate life with confidence. When you are constantly surrounded by noise, whether it is from other people, social media, or the demands of daily life, it is easy to lose sight of yourself. You may begin to rely on external validation, seeking approval from others instead of listening to your own intuition. But when you embrace solitude, you create space for self-reflection. You begin to hear your own thoughts clearly without interference. You start to understand what you truly want rather than what the world tells you to want. Building inner strength in solitude means becoming comfortable with your own company. It means learning that you are enough just as you are without needing anyone else to complete you. Too often people seek relationships, friendships, or distractions to fill a void within themselves. They look for happiness outside of them, thinking that another person or situation will bring them peace. But true peace comes from within. When you spend time alone, you develop a deeper connection with yourself. You realize that your worth does not depend on others, and your happiness is not something that can be given or taken away. It is something you create. In solitude, you also learn the power of self-discipline. When there is no one watching, no one holding you accountable, what do you do? Do you waste time, or do you use it to grow? Inner strength is built when you learn to push yourself forward, even when no one is there to push you. It is in these moments of solitude that you develop the habits and mindset that shape your future. The most successful, the most resilient people are those who have mastered themselves in the silence. Solitude also teaches you emotional resilience. When you constantly depend on others for comfort, you never learn how to truly process your emotions. But when you sit with yourself, when you allow yourself to feel without seeking distraction, you become stronger. You realize that you can face your fears, your doubts, and your pain, and you can overcome them. You no longer need to escape from your emotions because you have built the strength to handle them. Being alone also gives you clarity. When you step away from the opinions and influences of others, you start to see your life from a new perspective. You realize which relationships truly serve you and which ones drain you. You gain insight into what truly matters to you rather than what society tells you should matter. This clarity allows you to make better decisions, to align your life with your purpose, and to move forward with confidence. One of the most powerful aspects of solitude is self-love. When you spend time alone, you begin to treat yourself with more kindness and respect. You stop looking for validation from the outside world because you have already given it to yourself. You no longer settle for less than you deserve because you understand your own worth. You become your own best friend, your own source of encouragement, and your own foundation of strength. Inner strength is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about knowing that you have the power to overcome them. And the best way to develop that power is through solitude. It is in solitude that you discover your resilience. It is in solitude that you learn to trust yourself. It is in solitude that you build the kind of strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstance. So do not fear being alone, embrace it. Use it as an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to build yourself from the inside out. Because once you have mastered solitude, once you have found strength in your own company, there is nothing in this world that can break you. Fear of judgment is one of the greatest barriers to living authentically. It holds people back from speaking their truth, following their dreams, and embracing who they truly are. So many people live their lives seeking approval, adjusting themselves to fit the expectations of others, afraid of what people might say or think. But the truth is, no matter what you do, someone will always have an opinion. If you live for the approval of others, you will forever be a prisoner to their judgment. It is time to release that fear and step fully into your power. The fear of judgment often begins in childhood. We learn early on that approval brings love and acceptance, while disapproval brings criticism and rejection. Over time, we internalize this idea and start shaping ourselves based on what others expect of us. We silence our voices when they do not align with the crowd. We hold back our dreams because they might seem unrealistic to others. We shrink ourselves to fit into a mold that was never meant for us. But at what cost? Living for approval often means living a life that is not truly ours. The first step to releasing the fear of judgment is recognizing that people's opinions are a reflection of them, not of you. When someone judges you, it has more to do with their own insecurities, beliefs, and experiences than it does with your worth. People who criticize others harshly are often projecting their own fears and limitations. Understanding this frees you from taking their words personally. Another powerful realization is that most people are too focused on themselves to truly judge you. We often assume that others are constantly analyzing and evaluating us, but in reality, they are thinking about their own lives, their own struggles, and their own insecurities. Even if they do judge you for a moment, they will soon move on to something else. The fear that others are watching your every move is an illusion. To truly let go of the fear of judgment, you must shift your focus inward. Instead of worrying about what others think, ask yourself, what do I think? What do I want? What feels right for me? When you become more in tune with your own desires and values, external opinions lose their power. You no longer need validation from others because you have already given it to yourself. One of the greatest freedoms you can experience is learning to trust yourself. When you know who you are, when you stand in your truth, nothing anyone says can shake you. It does not mean you will never feel fear or doubt, but it does mean that you will no longer allow those fears to control you. You will still hear the voices of judgment, but they will no longer dictate your choices. Releasing the fear of judgment also requires self-compassion. Many people are their own harshest critics, constantly second-guessing themselves, replaying past mistakes, and imagining the worst possible outcomes. This internal judgment is often even more damaging than external criticism. But when you practice self-kindness, when you speak to yourself with love and encouragement, you create a foundation of inner strength that no outside opinion can break. Another important step is taking action despite fear. The truth is, fear of judgment never fully disappears. It simply loses its grip when you stop giving it power. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you realize that judgment does not define you. Each time you express yourself freely, each time you follow your heart without hesitation, the fear weakens. Think about the people you admire most. Are they the ones who played it safe, who stayed silent, who lived only to please others? Or are they the ones who dared to be themselves, who followed their own path despite criticism? Every great leader, artist, thinker, and visionary has faced judgment. But they did not let it stop them. They moved forward anyway, and in doing so, they changed the world. You do not need permission to be yourself. You do not need approval to live your life the way you choose. The only approval that truly matters is your own. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you let go of the need to please others. Imagine how free you would be if you stopped seeking validation and started embracing your authenticity. Life is too short to waste on worrying about what others think. Your time is precious. Your energy is valuable. Do not spend it molding yourself to fit into expectations that were never meant for you. Instead, spend it creating, growing, loving, and fully expressing who you are. When you release the fear of judgment, you step into a life of confidence, joy, and true self-expression. You become unstoppable, not because you are fearless, but because you no longer let fear control you. You realize that the only thing that truly matters is living a life that feels right to you. And when you do that, you inspire others to do the same. Success, healing, and transformation are not about making one giant leap overnight. They are about taking small, consistent steps every single day. Many people get overwhelmed by the idea of change because they think it has to happen all at once. But the truth is, the most powerful changes happen gradually. Every great achievement, every personal breakthrough, and every dream fulfilled started with a single step. It is easy to get discouraged when you look at how far you still have to go. You may compare yourself to others who seem ahead, and you may wonder if your small efforts are even making a difference. But progress is not about speed. It is about consistency. When you commit to small steps every day, those steps accumulate. Over time, they build momentum, and that momentum creates lasting change. Think about a seed planted in the soil. At first, you see nothing. It looks like nothing is happening, but underneath the surface, the roots are growing, strengthening, and preparing to push through. If you stop watering the seed because you do not see immediate results, it will never grow. The same is true for your dreams, your goals, and your personal growth. Even if you do not see instant results, every small action is planting a seed for your future. Taking small steps every day also helps overcome fear. When a goal seems too big, fear can paralyze you. You may feel stuck, afraid to begin because you do not know how to reach the end. But when you break things down into small, manageable actions, fear loses its grip. Instead of focusing on how far you have to go, you focus on what you can do today. One small step is not overwhelming. It is achievable. And when you take that step, the next one becomes clearer. Small daily actions also build confidence. Confidence does not come from waiting until you feel ready. It comes from taking action even when you are unsure. Each time you show up for yourself, each time you push forward, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Over time, these small victories add up, and you start to believe in yourself in ways you never did before. Another powerful benefit of taking small steps is that it creates habits. Motivation comes and goes, but habits are what create lasting change. When you commit to doing something every day, whether it is writing one page, exercising for 10 minutes, meditating, or learning a new skill, it becomes a part of who you are. You no longer have to rely on willpower alone, because your actions become automatic. Many people give up on their goals because they expect perfection. They think that if they miss one day or make a mistake, they have failed. But progress is not about being perfect. It is about showing up, even imperfectly. One bad day does not erase all your effort. What matters is that you keep going. Even if you take a small step forward and then stumble, you are still further ahead than if you had never started. Taking small steps every day also teaches patience. We live in a world that glorifies quick results, but true success, whether in personal growth, relationships, career, or health, takes time. When you accept that real change is a process, you stop rushing. You begin to trust that every effort, no matter how small, is leading you towards something greater. Think of someone climbing a mountain. If they only focus on the peak, they may feel discouraged, thinking it is too far, too difficult. But if they focus on just the next step and then the next, they eventually reach the top. The same applies to your journey. Whether you are working on healing, improving yourself, or achieving a goal, you do not have to have it all figured out. You just have to take the next step. The beauty of small steps is that they create transformation without overwhelming you. If you improve just 1% every day, imagine where you will be in a year. Imagine the strength, wisdom, and confidence you will gain. It is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right circumstances. It is about starting where you are, with what you have, and taking action now. You are capable of more than you realize. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Trust the process. Be patient with yourself. And most importantly, keep going, because one day you will look back and realize that those small steps led you to a life greater than you ever imagined. So many people go through life searching for love and validation outside of themselves. They look to relationships, friendships, careers, and social approval to feel worthy, whole, and appreciated. But the deepest and most lasting source of love and encouragement does not come from the outside. It comes from within. Until you learn to become your own source of love, you will always feel like something is missing. You will always depend on others to make you feel valued. True fulfillment begins when you stop seeking external validation and start nurturing yourself with the love and encouragement you deserve. Many people have been conditioned to believe that their worth is determined by how others see them. They seek approval from family, acceptance from peers, and love from romantic partners, believing that these things will finally make them feel complete. But what happens when that approval is not given? What happens when the people they rely on for validation are no longer there? If your sense of worth is based on external factors, it becomes fragile. The moment someone withdraws their love or disapproves of you, your self-worth crumbles. But when you become your own source of love and encouragement, your confidence is unshakable. You no longer need constant reassurance because you already know your value. You trust yourself. You accept yourself. You give yourself the kindness and compassion you have been seeking from others. And in doing so, you create a deep sense of inner peace. Learning to love yourself unconditionally means recognizing that you are enough just as you are. It means letting go of the belief that you must achieve something, change yourself, or meet certain expectations before you deserve love. You deserve love now. You deserve encouragement now, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. A powerful way to cultivate self-love is through the way you speak to yourself. Many people are kind to others but harsh with themselves. They criticize their mistakes, doubt their abilities, and replay their failures in their minds. But would you speak to a friend that way? Would you tear down someone you care about? If not, then why do it to yourself? The words you say to yourself shape your reality. When you replace self-criticism with self-compassion, you create a supportive and loving inner environment. Encouragement is something you can give yourself daily. You do not have to wait for someone else to believe in you. You can be your own biggest supporter. Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," say, "I am capable and I am growing." Instead of focusing on what went wrong, remind yourself of how far you have come. Every time you affirm yourself, you build confidence. Every time you acknowledge your progress, you strengthen your self-worth. Another way to nurture self-love is through self-care. Loving yourself is not just about words, it is about actions. It is about treating yourself with the same care and respect that you give to others. It means taking the time to rest when you need it, nourishing your body, setting healthy boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being. It means listening to your needs and honoring them. Many people feel unworthy of self-care because they have been taught to put others first at all costs. But taking care of yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. When you fill your own cup, you have more love and energy to give to the world. When you neglect yourself, you become drained, resentful, and disconnected from your true self. You deserve to be nurtured, not just by others, but by yourself. Forgiveness is another key part of self-love. Many people carry guilt, shame, and regret from their past. They hold on to mistakes and judge themselves harshly. But true love is forgiving. Just as you would forgive someone you love, you must also learn to forgive yourself. Growth is a journey, and mistakes are part of that journey. Instead of punishing yourself for the past, choose to learn from it. Choose to move forward with grace and understanding. When you become your own source of love and encouragement, you stop settling for relationships and situations that do not honor you. You no longer tolerate mistreatment because you know your worth. You no longer chase after people's approval because you approve of yourself. You attract relationships that reflect the love you have for yourself rather than ones that fill a void. The truth is, no one can give you the love and encouragement you need better than you can. External love is wonderful, but it should complement the love you already have within, not replace it. When you rely on others for your sense of worth, you give away your power. But when you become your own source of love, you take that power back. You are deserving. You are enough. You are worthy of love. Not because someone else says so, but because you exist. Choose to love yourself fiercely. Choose to encourage yourself daily, because the moment you do, you will realize that everything you have been searching for has been within you all along.